All signs are pointing to absolute disaster for the new Rachel Zegler's Snow White. We've seen box office predictions that this is going to be worse than Captain America. And you know they're writing a lot on a franchise like this with Disney. They're trying very, very hard. Now, there's already some cringe stuff that has come out about the plot. That she, quote, is Snow White because she, quote, grew up in snow. Because she's clearly not white and she's clearly not fair, which fair doesn't mean, quote, beautiful. It just means light-skinned, and you're not it, Rachel. This doesn't make sense. The casting was obviously done as a DEI sort of thing to try to woke-eyes all these fairy tales that mostly came from white culture that Disney was producing in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, etc. And we saw The Little Mermaid, my gosh. And it's a trend that people have had more than enough of at this point. You combine that with the fact that this lady goes out there and just is absurd with her comments in attacking Americans, attacking the classics. She is just a train wreck of PR. And you could see exactly why they would need to limit her appearances to limit some backlash of this at this point. They know the marketing strategy they usually go for at this point is not going to work, and so they're not going to do it. Maybe they will. Maybe they will after it comes out to try to get some sympathy bucks. We'll talk about that marketing strategy in just a moment. And please hit the like and subscribe button, everybody. Join us here as we talk about all things in fantasy fiction, and Snow White is definitely fantasy fiction. I have a new Sword and Sorcery coming out. This is going to be the opposite of Snow White. This is badass, strong male lead. This is classic fantasy, guys, that you will love. Check it out. They should be making a movie about this without Rachel Zegler in it. So check it out. It's in the description below, guys. This is it. Evil has awakened. Jaden is a former soldier who was working for the evil empire, and he's renounced all violence, but still has to come back and deal with this great, terrible thing that's happening. And so please check it out. It's in the description below. Thank you so much, guys. It's going to be available on March 18th, and right now it is up for pre-order. And let's get those numbers huge for the launch. Really appreciate you all for reading. Okay, so the new rumor alleges that Walt Disney Company is purposefully limiting Rachel Zegler's press appearances to limit anti-woke backlash for Snow White. According to Molly Clayton at the Daily Mail, a source informed her Disney are already anticipating an anti-woke backlash against Snow White and have reduced the media schedule to just a handful of tightly controlled press events. As for why, the source explained, that is why they've taken a highly unusual step not to host a London premiere for the film and are minimizing the amount of press questions that Zegler gets. Now, the London premiere was canceled, if you guys don't know. Very, very bad sign for the show again, and box office predictions have been lower than Captain America. This is an absolute train wreck for Disney right now. Anti-woke backlash has already occurred with hundreds, if not thousands and tens of thousands or more, have criticized Rachel Zegler as well as Walt Disney Company for their plans to radically alter the original plot of the 1937 animated film with its live-action adaptation. In 2023, she cried about the original film, saying the original came out in 1937, very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Crazy stuff on this. When being asked about the prince, she says, we have a different approach. I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story because we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's one of those things I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about, but what it's actually going to be. But it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. Why is that wonderful, by the way? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's the compelling aspect of Snow White and films like it. My gosh. And whether or not she finds love among the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get, who knows, it's Hollywood, baby. Oh, gosh, she's insufferable. In an inner journey, she comes to find her true self, and she don't need no man. That's right. Yes, Slay Queen. She meets a lot of people along the way, makes the journey really incredible. It's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White, and then Gadot said she's not going to be saved by the prince. Cool. So it's not going to be the story whatsoever. It's going to be a complete disaster, as we know. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. Sad that they've done this to women's films. Very, very sad. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she could be, the leader her late father told her she could be if she was fearless, brave, and true. And it's a really incredible story for young people everywhere to see themselves in. And that's what it's all about with these people. See yourself in. It's all about identifying with me. I can be this great leader if only somebody gave me the chance. And all these people just are just being completely deluded with their participation trophies and the like. And that's how we end up with stars, quote, like Rachel Zegler to begin with. Because where are the real stars? Where are the ones that everybody is captivated by at this point? There's none of them anymore. It's really sad. She also shared to Entertainment Weekly, the reality is the cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what women is fit for in this world. My gosh, it's just like they hate the classic films. They want to destroy Disney's legacy. This is really what it's all about. And this is what they've been attempting to do, is try to recreate all this stuff with the year zero, recreate all these fairy tales and say that it's ours. We've changed it. It's our work now, because these people are talentless hacks who can't create their own stories, can't create their own fiction, because none of their stuff would resonate. If they didn't have the brand of Snow White and they just made this some random fantasy thing with this kind of plot line, do you think anybody would go see this? Absolutely not. It would be a tenth of even what this does for the box office. The only people that are going to go are moms who try to bring their little girls to a thing that says Snow White because it says it's Snow White and just really haven't checked the internet to see what it is. That's what's going to happen. It's going to fall off real quick, because as soon as word gets out about how bad this film is, much like Captain America Brave New World, we know exactly what's going to happen on this front. It's going to be a complete disaster. And yes, she's not going to be saved by the prince. She's the proactive one. She set the terms, what it makes to be relevant where we are today. My gosh. So, like I said, the box office is saying this domestic opening weekend is expected to gross between 52 and 71 million, with a pinpoint prediction of 56 million. Pretty bad. As for its domestic gross, tracking at 130 million and 209 million, with a 155 million total. For comparison, The Little Mermaid had an opening of 95 million, with a gross total of 298 million. So this is tracking to do close to half of The Little Mermaid, which was a failure just by itself. Absolutely crazy on that level that they've just destroyed any credibility. Given the poor box office grosses, reducing the number of media and press, as well as the entire film, might not just reduce her chances of answering questions, but keeps costs down, which might be another reason that they're doing here. Oh my gosh, what a train wreck. They try to give her the classic look for some reason, but it just doesn't work. So crazy stuff. They'd already spent $209 million on the film as of July 2022. And remember, they've been working on this for a couple more years. But they budgeted as a budget, it ballooned as a budget to $269 million. So this is going to be a huge disaster. So the budget is around $300 million. They've overshot that significantly, according to sources. And yikes, it's heading towards The Force Awakens, Rise of the Palpatine. That kind of budget. We're nearing a $500 million mark for what was actually spent on this film so far, which they're not going to make back from what it looks like on this level. Now, I've seen even new posters are minimizing her role effort in here. They're putting Gal Gadot much bigger than her because they know that Gal Gadot's a bigger draw and something more interesting to look at. This reminds me of what they've been doing with the Assassin's Creed posters that they've been putting out for things where they're like really pushing the Black Samurai very, very small, because they know that they went in on the woke agenda. They know they went in on the DEI agenda and it failed. And let's not forget the last statements that Rachel Zegler's memorable for just a couple of weeks before now was the fact that she was attacking Trump supporters, hoping that they know no peace in America right now. Who are your target demographic for this film, Rachel Zegler? It's going to be families and conservative moms with their children who are going to come see this. So the fact that you attacked everybody right ahead of this, not a smart move, and that's exactly why she apologized so quickly and why she shut up. And I think that's why she's being removed from all the press stuff at this point, because they know she just steps in it every single time. And moreover, they don't want the press to ask more questions about that kind of thing, because if the press does that, they know that they're going to be sunk, because she's going to answer a little too honestly for Disney, and Disney's trying to hide the fact that they're woke at this juncture. And that's what's going on. Everybody's telling me woke's dead, woke's dead. This movie's about to come out, guys. We're seeing so much craziness right now. Pedro Pascal, another Disney star here, is pushing the trans agenda once again. Wokeness is not dead. It is just changing the marketing because they know that we're not going to buy it if they tell us it's woke in advance. So they're trying to hide it now, and they're trying to just hide this. But this is a complete feminist rewriting of this. It's a disaster, and it's a film that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and with a star who's absolutely carrying the torch for a banner of the hatred and bigotry that Hollywood has stood for over the last several years towards half of America, and everybody's very, very sick of this. I expected to do worse than these box office predictions, to be honest, and this is not going to go well if they're trying to back off marketing and hide the film at this point, which it seems like they're doing. I think they're writing it off. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out The Demon's Eye. This is great fantasy fiction. If you like the classic fairy tales, my fans, this is fun, and it's for you. This is the book to get this week. Grab it in the description below. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting, and we'll be back soon.